got it. Alright guys, back to the fun of the 01 Dodge Ram. So, I don't know, all those videos are just going to continue on. But, I shot another video and, I haven't gotten back to this. Why do I feel like I got told overnight? Okay, so what I'm going to do, tailpipe's nice and cool. Try to put the camera on top of the tailpipe. You guys have a place to sit and watch the shit. Oh, close up of my face. Last thing anybody wanted. Okay. So what we got going on here is the downpipe here. The rest of it's stuck inside. Now, you can't really see it, but you can see like the lip here because we ripped off the rest of it, as you saw. So I saw a couple things online, a couple different tricks people were doing. One of them is you need a hammer, you need a flathead, and you need a sawzall, and you got to have the type of lubrication that helps with nuts and bolts that you use. Some people talk about using PB Blaster. I've always been a big fan of Core. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth your money. So what we're going to end up doing today, before I start, I'm going to do this, give it about a good 5-10 minutes before we really start fucking getting into this. You want to spray the inside of it with oil, and you're going to let it sit for like 5-10 minutes, like saturate the inside of it. And the idea of it is that the oil is supposed to help lubricate the inside and help hopefully remove the rust. You know, its contact. That's basically its contact bond right now, is the rust. But what I'm going to do is take the sawzall, I'm going to go inside the pipe where it is, because it's not welded on. It's just rusted welded on, if that makes any sense, you guys. So I'm going to take the sawzall, I'm going to cut into that inner pipe, and as I cut it, I'm also going to pull it out with my, my wrench that I had when I started walking around. Here it is. So here's my wrench, and I'm going to grab onto it like such, and start basically peeling it up. So it's already kind of peeled up a little bit on this side here. I'm going to start peeling it up, and hopefully when I get it cut, it'll start splitting like an onion. And if you start accidentally like bending the outside of your pipe, like you see how it's kind of like flanged out a little bit, like it's hard to see, because this is what has to get removed, this like lip, so it's not level. If you end up bending the pipe that you don't want to bend, it doesn't matter. A hammer puts it back into place. It's really not the end of the world. You just want to try to avoid bending stuff you don't really need to bend. So I'm going to start doing that in about a matter of seconds right now. I'm just checking something else. That's weird. Anyway, so I'm going to spray that with oil, and then we're going to pick this back up in a couple seconds, and hopefully I can cut this out, and I can start removing this piece. It's going to be a mix of running the sawzall and using the hammer with the flathead. Always use a flathead you don't really care about, otherwise you're just going to damage the flathead. Alright guys, so I noticed on the other elbow that it's got a big hole right here, and this one doesn't feel like it has it, but it had to be replaced anyway. But here's the issue: how do you get this off? See, I can't just pull on the pipe; it won't come off. I tried that several times. So what I got to do is actually I got to go down the cut line here, run down the line here to here. Sorry, helps if I move the camera. Got to grind down this here to the hump, and then go up. And then what I got to do is then go around with a flathead and my hammer and just knock it out. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get you guys to see it without you guys being in my way. Let's say about right there probably works. You guys could be somewhat in the action. Speed it up, speed the video up so you guys don't have to sit here listening to the grinding, but you'll get an idea of everything. But first thing, we got some rust over here. Gloves are always good for anything, you know, of course. I don't want to tap this down any more than it is. But all I'm doing is putting light taps around it. I saturate it in crude oil, so you would think it would come out, but it's a tight bond, it's a tight fit. It's not going to come out that easy. So it's got to get grinded out, which involves, like I said, I'm going to run this line down and then run it up, and as I go, I'll come back in with my flathead and I'll start trying to separate this rust bond that's here. You can see how bad the rust is in some spots here, but I'm going to start going in between, hitting it here and here and getting it down, and you barely end up actually touching the stack itself.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just to get like a nice little bond on it. And now I can get the stack out. It's a little tougher when you got nothing to hold on to. Sorry. Alright, you can see how rusty and dirty this all is, and this is going to be harder going into the new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit it with some of my wire brushes and clean up the ends here. Get them all cleaned up on the ends so that they can fit into the new pipes, and that's garbage. Just like that, guys. So there's a couple ways of doing stuff. If you're trying to get the pipe that you want to save out of a pipe on the inside that you don't want, you cut it. If you're trying to get the pipe that's inside of here, like we were doing, and you want to save this, then you cut the inside pipe that's stuck inside that's broken off, and you extract it the same way. But after getting this out and realizing that this was too fucked up, not even just from me, but from, I was seeing rust spots in it and different stuff that looked really bad, I said, let me just get a new one. I got 2 new wide pipes to put in, and it was good that I bit the bullet and said, you know, fuck it. I'm going to buy 2 new wide pipes because this thing is just so badly rusted on the inside that I was having trouble trying to clean it. This morning, when I was about to start taking off the other stack, look at this. What I found here. That is a tremendous hole. And the worst thing, that's not something I caused. That's something that's been sitting in the corner of the truck like this for a long time, and you could see it. You could see that there's rust on here. I mean, how thin that elbow is. And, you know, this wrap stuff really didn't help. And it's been sitting like that for a long time. I mean, I could fit my fist inside it. That's how big this hole is. Which is interesting because there'd be many mornings I would start my truck in the box that I had over the stacks. I would start seeing like kind of the same steam that was coming out of the pipes coming from around the box. And I just thought that the steam that was there was just, you know, just cold air. You know, I thought the stacks were cold. It was just cold and it's damp and they're releasing off steam on themselves, and it's not. It was actually leaking into the bed of the truck. And it's amazing I never had a truck bed fire. So that's why a lot of times these stacks were really looked down upon with people, because people would have them installed in the bed of their truck and then they would have truck bed fires. And the reason why is because leaves get into the bed of your truck, they touch the hot stacks, and eventually they catch on fire. It's amazing I never had that happen with the amount of leaves that were back there with this gaping hole. Unless it was just enough heat getting out that it wasn't really hot by the time it hit the leaves, but still, nevertheless, this had to get changed and get rid of. We got a new one anyway, so I'm going to be grinding those things down, making them look pretty. Alright guys, I'm going to take a quick little break because my hands are hurting. It's cold outside and it's like, but it's actually pretty cool. I bought from them before. Last time I got a sticker. This time around they sent me a hat from, it's from Power Flow. It's from Parsley Diesel is the name of the website, but it's Power Flow Diesel Exhaust and Stacks, and that's who I got it from. So basically, if you're looking at a kit like this for your diesel truck or for your gas pickup truck, for the love of God, guys, don't put them on the outside of the body of the bed of the truck. It just looks like shit. Okay? And if you are one of those guys watching that video, it does look like shit, and you look like you're trying to intimidate a tractor-trailer truck, is what everybody says to you, and I've heard it so many times, and everybody's like, ah, man, look at this guy, he's putting stacks on a gas truck. Why would he put stacks on a gas truck? Well, everything I like to do is custom. And if anybody ever knows from one of my earlier videos was, I had a dump pipe on here, then people I knew were copying me. And at the time when I was doing this was over 10 years ago, customizing trucks to this extreme wasn't really something what everybody did. You know, you had underglow, you had fart cans on your rice burner, as they call them. Your imports is the proper term. Rice burners nowadays might be taken racist, but or whatever the hell you want to call it, culturally racist. Screw all that shit. Why do it on a gas truck? I had side pipes. I wanted to do like side pipes on the truck that were like off of the classic Stingrays. I liked it, but it was going to take a lot, and my fuel tank's in the way. So I had one side pipe. Guess what starts happening? Well, people in my local 20-mile radius of me saw it on my truck, and were like, that's a great idea. And people were doing it on trucks that didn't even need a side pipe. Like, well, look at like Nissan Frontiers and Nissan Xteras and shit like that, and I'm like, God damn, people stop copying me. And it was so ghetto rigged, the shit that they had. And yes, ghetto. It's not, has nothing to do with color. We're talking about guys using fucking pipes from Home Depot that are meant for your ventilation and for your dryer. And it looked like shit, and everybody's imitating it. So I said, well, what's the one thing people aren't going to spend their money on? Because everybody's spending 20 bucks for that exhaust system. 700, 600, 800, what could I buy that no one's going to pay for? Well, I went for Parsley Diesel, had a stack kit that actually had a reducer on it that would fit my OEM exhaust. See, I have a 2.5 outlet, right? Outside diameter, inside diameter, whatever. I have a 2.5. My truck is originally a 1.9 exhaust system, and then my pipe gets bigger after the cat to go to my 2.5 glass pack from Cherry Bomb. Well, everything I looked at to do stacks that are 4 inches, because I didn't want to go 5. So the thing is I'll get to the size why it works for my truck, why it wouldn't work for other people who try this. The exhaust inside diameter is supposed to be a certain size, and that's for the back pressure to the engine. It makes the vehicle drive, it makes the vehicle go faster, it makes the engine run right. Well, the bigger the pipe you have on it, the more that back pressure gets messed up, and it just becomes weak and sluggish, and it runs like a fucking scooter that you gotta use your foot. So what happens is you gotta play with it. So from my headers to my cattle converter is all 1.9. From my cat to about behind my cab and around my bed, it goes from 1.9 to 2.5, and it hits the glass pack that's a foot long. Well, from there, now you could put an exhaust tip on the end of your truck that's 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, 12, whatever the hell you want. The problem is that little comfort zone. So sometimes the bigger the pipe, the shittier the note. You got to play with the notes. So I did a lot of research, and I found out that with my 5.9 liter V8 Magnum 350 and the 1.9 going to 4-inch tips has enough volume as it travels through the exhaust system where it would come out sounding really nice. Has a nice deep note to it. And that's what I did. The biggest problem is trying to find, I'm like watching the delivery trucks pull up in front of my house. I'm trying to remember what else I got coming. But the problem is that to go from 2.5 to 4 inches is a real pain in the ass to find, and a reducer to do so. Well, Parsley Diesel sells it, and this is it right here. And I've been trying to hunt this down from people for a long time, and nobody has it. They got to custom make it. It's a royal pain in the ass. Let me go grab my FedEx bag. Hey, good morning. Yeah, it sure is. Hey, how are you? Alright, so back to my rambling. And what's cool is I just found in the box, they sent me a new sticker I could stick on my truck. So the one that's on there, that's all beat up and chewed up and it's all messed up from shit, I'm going to scrape it off, clean it, and put my new one on, representing the company that makes extremely good products. And I'm going to get into a lot of this very shortly. So, and it's cool, they send you a lot of different stuff. The hardest part was really trying to track down this. And this was made in the February 15th of 2022. That was built this year for this truck. And if you look at it, the welds on here are extremely nice. And you can see how that flow, there's no issues with the flow at all. See, a lot of times people would get worried about that. So you got 2.5 inches. This is going to go over the tip of my Cherry Bomb when I grind that and clean that up. This will go over the tip of the Cherry Bomb, and then this piece will then connect to the other piece, the other piece, which is the elbow, where then this goes up to the wide pipe, and then the wide pipes go up like a Y, like a football goal. Almost forgot what it was called. And then it comes to the stacks. Okay, that view. That's an exhaust stack in my brain. My head is the wide pipe, or whatever you want to call it. My head is something you want to kick. So that's that. So how much does this cost right here? This piece alone is $27 from Parsley Diesel. 2.5 to 4. Perfect. It's small. It's this big. I'll grab my tape measure for anybody who's wondering. 8 inches. 8 inches from tip to tip. So right then and there, you already know, okay, this is 8 inches long, and this is great because it's this size. And it's $27 too. I bought 2 tips from a performance shop, 2 reducers. I put them together and then found out that my reducers, this end and this end, were the wrong size to what I wanted to connect it to. Yippee, I gotta go back and return them. Because I don't really need them, because I got the part I wanted that I've been trying to track down for the past 2 weeks. That I had made a video of, that I wanted in my hand. Well, I got it in my hand now because I finally bit the bullet and went for it when I had issues with that wide pipe that I was showing you, trying to get, you know, the parts inside of it. So the kit is about $400 for the 4-inch exhaust tip kit. So now they got 4 inches, they got 6 inches, they got 8 inches, they got 9 inches. When it comes to a diesel truck, bigger might be better. I'm not sure. I don't really deal with diesels. You know, like my first diesel was that military truck, which I still haven't gotten back yet from the shop. There's a lot of things going on with it. There's a lot of things wrong with it. We're not even going to go into that fucking topic. But she'll be fixed, and she'll be home eventually, and she has her own custom exhaust done being on it that I'm not touching. So I'm staying away from that. And that's going to be pretty cool. I got a muffler on it from MWA. From Gibson. It's called the MWAs. It's a muffler with an attitude, so it's got like a really quiet exhaust note during like idling and stuff, but if you get on it, you know, she sounds like open pipes. So it's going to be interesting on a diesel truck, because that thing's loud by itself with that 6.1, I think it is 6.1 or 6.2 Detroit diesel. It's pretty loud by itself, you know, just for a non-turbo truck. And I like that it's not turbo. It's one less thing to go wrong. And according to people in my military truck club, they said you could still roll coal with it. I'm like, I don't need to roll coal. I just want to roll it down the road with me behind the wheel. So the guys from Parsley Diesel, they send you everything that you need for it. They sent me everything except for the 4-inch stacks. So if you're looking at here, okay, this is the axle here. They're showing you, because these are meant to go in your bed, your pickup truck bed. So if you're looking at the drawing here, here's the rear view that you're looking at the truck. Okay, here's the pipe that comes down. You have a clamp and a clamp that goes here. There's a clamp that are pipe clamps that are clamping it in place, and so forth. And then there's these clamps that go over the accordion for that extra connection. And then here is these channels. Here is your channeling of your bed frame. I'll post a photo of this while I'm talking about this, so you guys can look at it, so you could see it after the fact. So that's pretty cool. They send you that. And they also do is they tell you, they send you a part list here. You can see that it wasn't just printed out. There was somebody who actually pulled the order, because it's not just dirty because of me, it's dirty because somebody actually pulled it. They put down 4 of these, 1 of these, 1 of those, you know, and then they put down all that stuff. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And it's a lot of stuff, you know. There's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pieces just for the wide pipe replacement. And that's awesome, because everything I have is in pieces. You know, I had to cut the U-bolts because the nuts on there screwed up the threads. I couldn't get the nuts off, and I had 1 nut on that one, and the other one had still 2 nuts on it, but they're shredded. They shredded the threads on the shaft nut inside the nut, so got those out. Anyway, so I got all these parts. They send you a lot of different paperwork. This is, you cut this out, you put this in your bed, and then you make the little line and you cut the hole in your bed. So you got this little diagram as well, the pipe template. And then they have step-by-step, you know, remove exhaust from back of cab all the way to the back of the truck. Remove the heat shield from the bottom of the bed if it's equipped. And it goes down the list on how to install this if you've never done it yourself. And it always says, at the end, number 15 is the best. Enjoy. And they're a company that's very, you know, I used them once before. This is the second time using them. I've referred them to other people, and people I've known has bought from them and had wonderful success from it as well. And like I said, this thing is easily over 10 years old, you know, and it's been around salt. I live in New York. It goes on the beach. There's salt water, salt in the sand, salt on the roads, water and rain and snow and sleet, and you know, everything under the sun just beats the shit out of metal. And unfortunately, this is what happens over the course of time. But for me to be able, years later, to go back and buy this kit again for $465, and they send me everything I need. And let me put this stuff inside and I'll show you. Then I want to get back to grinding. My box. Inside this box has all my clamps, my hardware, my U-bolts, everything I need that I was just showing you on the list. Big clamps, okay? Look at these suckers. These things are going to be a pain in the ass to find, especially that are made of good quality. And they go on, and they're simple. You know, and there's the bolt that sits inside of a, if you look at the bolt, it's got a hex on it that sits inside here. It fits exactly inside there, so you don't need to have a wrench on this side and a wrench on that side. You literally just go back and forth carefully, getting them nicely lined up, clamped up, and then boom, you tighten it and you're done. I got 2 of those. Here's a accordion pipe that I was telling you. It's perfectly, it's fit to what you need. It's cut to the exact size that you need if it goes along with your instructions. This flex pipe is meant from the elbow to here. So this goes in here like such, because I've done this before, so don't leave me yet, people. Okay, and then this, whichever way it is, it goes either way. So you have one side that's longer than the other, so it might go like this into the stack, or it might go like that into the stack, depending on the height of your exhaust that's in you. I keep looking up every time I see a car, like I get paranoid. Somebody's gonna come down and find me. And then that goes over here. So say it's this way. So this accordion pipe goes on there, like such, and then this gets attached to here. And this goes to your exhaust system on your vehicle. So then this pipe here will connect to what you have on your truck, and then this will then go into the white pipe. You know, that whole, the pipe is my face, it goes into the wide pipe, and then the pipe comes out, and then your stacks get dropped in, and you clamp, and you're all done. Enjoy! How long would this take if I stopped talking to you guys and looking like a freaking butthead? Probably about an hour if you're cutting into your bed for the first time. For me, it might take an hour and a half, just because I got to finish cleaning up the one I'm working on, the end of the exhaust tip. I got to clean the other stack. I want to clean out the bed. Clean all that garbage that's out of there, and then I'm going to place them inside, and then clamp everything together, and then I got to get underneath, and you know, my exhaust right now underneath, I can't connect to it directly because it's got a lot of screwed, the tip of the muffler on the ends of it's all screwed up because a previous mechanic decided to, while I had a clamp on the exhaust, and I said don't weld it. In case I ever have to take this thing off, I want to just unclamp it and just pull it out. The asshole welded all the joints. So now I got to go in there with the grinder, grind all that weld off, clean it down smooth, and pray that I can get that tip to slide over. It's great when people just don't listen to you. I don't go to that asshole no more. He's burned me too many times. So here's our elbow, okay? It's got 2 different lengths on it, like you see. Boing. I can actually sit in the bed. Here's our part of our wide pipe. Now, because this thing is big, wide pipe. Nah, I'm not going to go into that YMC. Can't say it because copywriting issue. This right here is where your stack will sit inside of, and then this goes down into your bed. And then you're like, what the fuck is this end for? Well, because if you look at the other one that I removed, because this thing is so big. Here's the other, it's heavy too. Here's the other side of it that goes into this hole. So what happens is, if they go to send it, it's going to be a really big box, and it's going to cost you more money. So they came up with a plan, was to be able to connect that end to this end to make the box smaller and send it to you for a cheaper price. Look at that, helping the customer every which way they can. A normal big stack company will send you this big wide pipe that's this big. It's like this. It's a field goal. I keep hitting the flag and my arms are... That's how big the pipe is. They'll send it to you and then shipping's like, you know, $300 and it's already, you know, $400 into it and you're like, boy, I'm doing this just to have different looking exhausts. Fuck it. So, things are smaller, it's easier to ship. And sometimes the best thing to do is helping customers by saving them money a little bit along the way. They're sending out hats now. I don't remember them having a hat back then. I remember the sticker. Inside my box is many things. Here is brand new Grand Rock, which is the company that I bought it from. The clamps that go, so the U clamp goes over the pipe, and then this sits on the bed. The pipe sits in the channel, and that's how you mount it to your bed. We need that. The old one looks like this. As you can tell, I've had it for a while. I could still use this. I could sand it, grind it, I could use this somewhere else, so I'm not throwing this away. This is still in good shape, but I just don't need it anymore for this. But I might use it somewhere else. Yeah. Turn it into a exhaust pipe harmonica. Yeah, okay, people like he's on crack. Yep. That could stay in the pile of many things. Here's another clamp. Okay, this is, what size is this one? I think this is just a 4-inch clamp. Yep, it's a 4-inch clamp. It says it right on the bag as well. Here's another one of those U-bolts. U-bolt clamps to the bed. Got some more clamps that are here. Then I got these clamps here. These are for, I know it was in there somewhere, and I'm trying to remember what these were for, but these I think were for like positioning the stacks in the bed of the truck. Like these would go down, I think, into something. I'm not 100% sure. I got to look into it. I know I didn't use these because I didn't see them on there, but I think what they are is they kind of stabilize the exhaust stack in place on the truck so it doesn't rattle. I never had that issue until I started detaching most of the pipes, and then the stacks were doing that while I was driving until I took them off yesterday. And that's that. And just clamps, 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 clamps. Simple and easy. And get rid of that box. Alright guys, so I'm going to go back to grinding. And trying to stay out of something right now. I'm going to go back to grinding, and I'm going to go back to, after the grinding is done, I'm going to start assembling that exhaust stack unit in front of you guys. For anybody who wants to see how they're installed and how they're put together, I'm also show that as well inside the video. Doesn't matter, doesn't hurt, kill two birds with one stone, and that's it. So I'm going to stop talking. I got to change the stupid battery on the camera again. Go back to grinding, and you guys go back to watching, listening to music. And we're going to make this look like it used to. Well, look like it did last weekend. Guys, so before we do our start, I finally got everything situated. I got everything set up. Finally got all the pipes connected. It's great. It's cold. It's like 5 in the afternoon right now. We're gonna do a cold-ish start from the truck. Let's see how she runs, and then I'm gonna make my final decision before the video ends on which angle I want those stacks to be sitting. And that is what I like to see, is the exhaust coming out the stack on the right side, and then eventually it migrates over and it moves into the left stack with the heat and everything. Yeah, it eventually goes into the left. The right side's always been the master stack because it's the closest to the end of the pipe. But she's running through there, and I'm going to choose exactly which one I want. I'll let her idle out for a couple seconds, and then I'm going to decide.